This evidence is not admissible in court.
If it wasn't for his yes, we wouldn't be here today, right? Him seeing the vision and having the belief in this when no one was talking about it. No one knew exactly what LSSC was.
The money that's generated from those scooter rentals through the consumer is how the company is able to pay you as an investor.
You answered the question as if you have knowledge about what you're talking about. Yeah. I think people can tell the difference between when you're actually experiencing something or when you're just saying something.
Right.
He didn't make that up. I think he's heard that, and I think he's probably said it enough times that he gets it.
What matters to me is that when I press that button, I get paid.
These scooters don't exist nowhere. Where they at?
Just within 1 year, they've been able to migrate from Hong Kong to the United States, and we have an office in every state.
When you join this business, it's invitation only.
I took it personally. Listen, I thought you was talking to me.
Man.
I want you to tell the people why you said that.
But here's what I like to do. I like to do analogies and metaphors because I believe that it simplifies the process for a lot of people. And so it's like talking to a 5-year-old.
And I believe you mean what you say. You're not counting on whether I join today or not, right?
We're back here to show you we're still rising. We're still standing.
Mindset, legacy, getting your time back.
Yes.
We know that these are typical MLM network marketing phrases and things that leaders and companies who are making millions of dollars say.
As if it's a problem, I'm supposed to. You're supposed to. Because we're going to make sure before we leave this earth, not only is the legacy already set and in place, that's done, but we get the most out of life.
You're looking to get into the scooter business with us. And you're seeing these videos, you're seeing these reels, you're hearing people talk about it. And you're ready, right? But you want to make sure you tap in with the right people. You want to make sure you join the right organization. We're not here just saying jump into LSSC. We're telling you that LSSC is real. We're telling you that it changed our life and that it's changing other lives. But be very careful on who team you join. You want to make sure you join the right people. Right. So if you're looking to join Team Sparta, what I want you to do is comment the word Sparta on this video. Comment the word Sparta on this video and someone will reach out to you.
This is your last chance, yo. This is your last chance. I'm gonna give you a date. Check it out. August 1st. August 1st. August 1st is the cutoff date. Matter of fact, July 31st. July 31st, y'all, is the cutoff date. I know you probably wondering like what cutoff date we're talking about, Leo. It's the cutoff date for me and you. Yep. If you are not a part of this organization of mine, if you're not out here grinding with us, if you're not building with us, as of July 31st, cut you off.
Think Kingdom Media does not provide financial advice or endorse claims made by guests. This platform exists to document real conversations, real people, and real journeys. It's on record now. Whether this becomes a cautionary tale or a case study in faith and fortune, time will tell. Until then, stay tuned and draw your own conclusions. Peace and grace, Kingdom family. This is Darius Dior. It's Think Kingdom Media, where we have real conversations with real people, and we share real music here. Today, this is not just another interview. This is my peoples, my family. They've come back to come see the kid, and I appreciate y'all. Yeah. And it's not just a returning guest. This time, my brother has brought his family with him.
Right.
His beloved wife. Salute to you.
Thank you.
I just want to take the time out to honor you and to say to you that I appreciate the anchor and the support that you are for him. I see that spiritually, beyond the business, beyond the money, right? You know, this man has changed his life
Yes.
in a short period of time, and I'm grateful for that. Sometimes, you know, somebody like me, I get spoiled. I'm thinking I'm the only one that got an amazing wife,
Yeah.
right? You know, because I'm not able to do what I'm able to do without the support of my beloved. So thank you
Right. Absolutely.
for supporting my brother. But for the people that don't know you, that have never seen you before, first time seeing you on this platform, can you go ahead and just tell us who you are real quick?
Absolutely. So I'm Lady Legacy, born and raised right here in Columbia, South Carolina. I am a wife, a mother, right? We have a 10-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 4-month-old, right? Pray for us, we're making it, right? But outside of that, I am a woman on a mission for my assignment, which is helping other women be able to wear multiple hats and also still create their legacy and build their legacy. And that is what allowed me to birth Lady of Legacy, which is LOL, my organization under my husband's organization, Team Sparta. So with those things combined, we understand that we're a movement individually, but together we're a force. And we're able to really go ahead and do the kingdom work and be kingdom influencers. So
Right.
that's me.
I'm a movement by myself.
Yes.
We're a
Force when we're
together.
together.
That's how that goes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, thank you for introducing yourself. I told y'all yesterday when I spoke to y'all, was we not even gonna give you the mic yet. All right. We're not even gonna give you the mic, but we're gonna put the camera on you though. Okay? We're gonna put the camera on you real quick, right? So I told y'all yesterday to forgive me in advance for asking y'all these hostile questions. Y'all obviously have created an uproar on my channel, okay? I don't know where all these people come from, but they must be your people. So, and they got questions, and they asking questions, and so I was able to compile a list of questions that not only just the people that are on the channel asking questions, but the people that are close to me that was able to consume the content and don't really want to comment on my channel, but they want to call me about you and say, you ain't really asking no question. You was being nice to G, right? I don't know his name or who he is or whatever he was, but you wasn't really asking the real questions. And this is some stuff that I want to ask. And these are people that got money, that want to invest in me. I've built a brand of integrity. People, if I say something, people believe me, right? Because I've been doing it for 5 years, right? So, so they're like, look, these are the real questions that you need to ask. Okay, y'all ready for this?
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
We always ready.
All right. The first question that people that I've compiled, right, and I've used OpenAI to really, I put notes in OpenAI. They compiled a list for me. Okay, the top 6 questions. So these are gonna be 6 joints.
Okay.
All right, and either one of y'all can answer. It doesn't matter. Whoever talks, it's on you. Cool?
Let's go.
All right. So number 1, how exactly are the daily returns being funded? Just to fill in for that question, is it through actual revenue generated from scooter rentals, or is it reliant on the continuous recruitment of new investors?
Well, I'll definitely let King Leo take that question, because if it wasn't for his yes, we wouldn't be here today, right? Him seeing the vision and having the belief in this when no one was talking about it. No one knew exactly what LSSC was, right? So with him taking that on his back, of course, we've now built this massive organization. So, honey, I'll let you take that one.
Absolutely. So that's a great question. And I think a lot of people want to know, how is the money generated? So when we look at these scooters, they are physical scooters with wheels, with brakes. They're being ridden every single day. Now, the thing about it is we have to understand that this platform, you're not purchasing those physical scooters, okay? As an investor, you're sponsoring the infrastructure of the platform, which is what allows the scooters to be powered. It allows the scooters to be monitored through GPS tracking and things like that. So when people want to know, how do we get paid? We get paid through the app, right? And through a regulated platform such as like Coinbase, crypto.com, and different options like that for those that are not familiar with the cryptocurrency space. But ultimately, the money that's generated from those scooter rentals through the consumer is how the company is able to pay you as an investor. The recruiting side is completely optional. Okay. But I always said this, like, if you're looking to make some money for yourself, then yeah, press the button and start sending out scooters. But if you're looking for generational wealth and changing families, then you're going to be a leader.
That's an excellent answer, sir. And then I want to give you feedback on your answer live. You didn't package the answer. You answered the question as if you have knowledge about what you're talking about. Sure. I think people can tell the difference between when you're actually experiencing something or when you're just saying something.
Right.
And so I want to just give that value back to you and also give that value to my audience. He didn't make that up. I think he's heard that, and I think he's probably said it enough times that he gets it, right? So thank you for that. Thank you. The second question I'm gonna ask, I just want to get the people out the way, okay? We're gonna build, right? So can you provide verifiable proof of cash flow specifically tied to scooter operations? For example, daily ride data, location-based income reports, or fleet performance metrics?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I'll jump right out the gate and say, what we have to understand as investors is there's a side of the game that as an investor, you don't really go into. So for example, when you think about Warren Buffett getting a check for $400 million with Coca-Cola, I'm pretty sure he's not in the room discussing marketing material. He's not in the room discussing, who's going to be on the assembly line packaging the Coca-Colas. So sometimes people want to find something wrong with something that's perfectly fine. And so they'll start digging. And so in regards of the infrastructure of the platform and how it operates and, who's making the scooters and how much does it cost to manufacture one scooter, I'll be honest with you, it's none of my business. What matters to me is that when I press that button, I get paid, right? Now, I got a question not to go off topic, but just for the audience, and I don't want to answer from you, D. I want the audience to answer this in the comment section.
Yeah.
When someone's looking for an opportunity, and I'm just going to come straight out and say a job, right? Because they need money to pay their bills and they need money to, get out of debt. When they're going through these struggles and stuff, when they go on Indeed and they start looking for job openings, they don't start asking those type of questions, right? They don't ask, well, how do you guys make the soda that we'll be packaging up, right? You know how many people work at Walmart? I don't think they ask, so why is it that we don't have self-checkout? Like, these are the things that I'm like, why is it such an inquiry when it's an opportunity that can change your life? Right. But you don't inquire when it's an opportunity that's going to keep you stagnant for 40 years. Yeah. So I'm all for the questions, people, but you got to ask yourself those type of questions. Yeah. So to answer, once again,
we're going to pin that question at the top, okay? Why do you ask questions when it's an opportunity in entrepreneurship, but when the scam job pulls up and they ask you to submit the resume and they sending you, they little process and their questionnaires insulting your intelligence, you don't ask them why.
Urine test, background check, employee check, reference check.
You don't ask questions about that. But I think just for context, because I was there to compile the questions, there was a lot of concern about how do I verify the validity of this business outside of what I know that the opportunity is? Do the scooters really exist? People saying, oh, these scooters don't exist nowhere. Where they at? Right? Who got them?
But you can clearly see, you can clearly see that they do exist and that they're in every office that we have in the United States has scooters. But they're not for the consumer to ride as of right now.
In the United States.
In the United States. We're looking to bring that out in 2026.
Correct.
Okay, let's build on that real quick. I think I heard you say they're not in the United States right now.
Correct.
For consumers.
For consumer purposes, meaning that.
Consumers, okay. Right. Wait a minute. She got knowledge about what's being talked about right now. Could you build on what was just said real quick? Thank you.
So to piggyback off of King Leo, they're not available for consumers to be able to go and do the tap and pay and enjoy the scooters and the ride perspective here in the United States. But what LSSC has done, which is so powerful, just within 1 year, they've been able to migrate from Hong Kong to the United States, and we have an office in every state. So we have 50 offices, right? Currently, right now, each of those offices have the physical scooter. So the great thing about that, what we're doing is inviting people to the office, because now from an investor standpoint, because we understand people belief and mindset, we get it, right? We understand that.
Right.
So now they're able to actually go and touch the scooter, take a picture with it, ride it. But at the end of the day, this is the physical product. As an investor, you are sponsoring, and now you're making money just from clicking that button.
For sure. Thank you so much for that. She did that so elegantly and so easy for you to understand, family. I think that was really, and I don't think she made that up. Right? I just, and so forgive me in advance, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm double checking, right? Right, because I'm responsible for these people. So just to stop the people's questions real quick, I want to tap back into you really fast. And what I really want to ask is, when did you just say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and support what he's doing? Because I know there was a gap.
It was.
Right? And there was a real gap, and real wives gap their husbands, right? They let them go. So I can tell you that you played yourself when you come back and go get a job, like I told you.
Right.
Right? Right? So tell me about the gap. And when did you was like, you know what, I'm gonna tap in,
Right. So life is so amazing and life is so grand because we go through different transitions in life. And when my husband and I met, I was in network marketing when we met. He was actually in my business at that time. So I was already very familiar with the industry and had spent about 5 years.
What business was that you?
So I was doing, actually, it was I Am Academy. We was teaching people about Forex trading and things like that, cryptocurrency. Before it was a thing, we was talking about it. I started in 2017. And I left that opportunity. We met in 2019.
2019?
Yes, but I was already in that opportunity prior to meeting him, and we worked together too. So it was just destined. We worked at the same job, but it was just destined. But I had prior experience when I left that particular opportunity in 2021. My focus at that time was really being a wife, being a mom, now accepting this new phase in my life, and I dabbled into real estate. I'm still a licensed real estate agent. And yes, I went ahead and said, let me pick up real estate. Let me go ahead and learn this skill set. Hubby, paid for me to go to school because he was 100% behind it. And I went and did that because, again, I love helping people. So with anything I do, I know my assignment is to serve people, educate people. That went really well. And fast forward, now we're here at the end of 2024. At this particular time, the top of 2025, at this particular time, I'm 8 months pregnant. We're in transition of buying a home before our second son is born. My husband lost his job. I'm a supervisor, assistant manager at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And I'm working 100 hours every 2 weeks. 8 months pregnant.
For sure.
But the great thing about God, and when you speak what you want, I said from when I first got pregnant, before all this stuff started crashing down, I said, babe, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know I'm not gonna be able to go back to this job after I have this baby. I know I can't do it. I just already felt it. Right. So I rocked out that 9 months because we had goals, we had things that we had to accomplish, which the biggest one was purchasing our first home to make sure we had that stability for our children. And when he came to me, never forget, just coming home from work, so I'm already tired and, just frustrated from job stuff, right? Just frustrated from job stuff. And he come to me, he was like, hey, babe, guess who called me? And, Reese gave him a call. And, of course, I'm familiar with Reese. He was in my previous business as well. And him and King Leo was able to build from there. But nevertheless, he said, yeah, he's talking about these scooters and, all this stuff. And at the time, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I said, you mean like the scooters, like what the old people, ride? Because that's what I thought when I first heard it. You know, the little scooters that the old people ride in the grocery store. That's what, yeah. So that's what I immediately thought about. He was like, no, you know, these are, you know, scooters and we invest in them. So he's excited. He's talking about it. Fast forward. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that, you know, that sounds good. Yeah. Fast forward, come home and he's like, babe, guess what? I'm like, what? He's like, I got started with the scooters. And this was my face.
That was your face?
Yes, because it's like I was happy for him because I know that with that transition, and he, of course, is going to be able to tell his side of the story with losing his job and everything that we had going on.
That story. We heard it.
Yes, and everything we had going on, it was a lot. So this was something that brought excitement back in his world, right? And so I didn't want to be like, well, what you mean, and bust the balloon. I just, okay, great. How did you get the money? You know? And,
The money came
and yes, because I'm like, we're in the middle of closing on a house. Like, you just paid $1,000 for the scooters. Okay. Yeah, you know, but fast forward, I just didn't want to get involved, and it wasn't anything about my husband. It was my prior experience and why I left the industry, and I said I was never going to go back. Correct. When I left, I said verbatim, I will never do network marketing again. So it was my own personal feelings because I didn't even give the opportunity a real look, right? But once I started seeing him on the phone, how excited he was, he getting people set up on trials, he's putting together the presentation to be able to give people a visual of this. I'm like, you know what? I know I've seen my husband in one of the darkest places in his life, and now he's vibrant, you know, he's himself, yeah, he's energized, like he's excited. But more importantly, what made me really take a real look at it, he was being consistent with it. So it wasn't something, he came to me one week and then the next week he was on to something else.
Right.
So that's what made me take a real look at it and invest in myself. And most people who do have a job, again, I had been back in the workforce, so I had that 40-40 mindset, right? Work 40 hours a week for 40 years and get 40% retirement. I had that 40-40 mindset, but when I looked at it, I said, you know what? This is God giving me the answer that when I said that I didn't want to return back to a job.
Yeah.
So even though people look at, man, this investment is a lot, it's a lot. I said, but it's going to cost me more not to do it.
Not to do it.
Not to do it. And he can tell you, I was contemplating, it was like 1 a.m. He was like, babe, did you go ahead and buy the crypto? I'm like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and, you know, buy it. And it's been life-changing ever since, because what I realized is that my prior experience in the industry was my prior experience, but this was not that. This was a clean slate. This was an avenue that someone who's never been in network marketing, never personally recruited somebody, can come in and win very quickly and very fast. So that in itself, I said, you know what? Now I'm all in, because now I see the vision. Now I see exactly where this is going to take our family. And now I see that, you know what? I don't have to go back to that job.
Leo, doesn't it feel good when the gap fails?
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The gap is so necessary.
The gap is necessary.
The gap is so necessary, and I wanna share this because the last content that we did, as you know, is going viral with a lot of people who said yes because of that video, that are now testimonies within that reel. And so the thing is, the gap is for you to find yourself first. When you find yourself first, what happens is that you start to attract the right people. So initially I came to my wife, but after she came to me. And so that's what you have to do. You focus on developing you, and you get into business first. Like I hear people like, I'm gonna get 10 people and then we're gonna come and get started. I'm like, look, it starts with you. So at first it was like, man, everybody treated me like Moses trying to build the ark at first, bro. You know, it was a lot of, oh, it's a Ponzi, it's a scam, it's not gonna be here. I heard somebody tell me because Donald Trump is dealing with these tariffs that China can't get no scooters out here. I mean, I've heard it all. But the reality is, meanwhile, there are people getting rich. Meanwhile, there are people that are paying off their houses. There are people that are getting Porsches, Benzes, Beamers, whole entire organizations being built right under your nose. And so this is why we're here with you. This is why we're on Thinking Kingdom. Listen, let me tell you something. We could have went to any podcast, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, when we think about it, everybody wants a shot, but I trust that your audience understanding this platform is kingdom based, that we believe in God, we believe in Christ. We're not about to sit here and put our face and name on something that we don't believe in. See, I think that's a big confusing step for people too. It's like, oh, it's working for them, but it may not work for me.
Yeah.
And that's a fair assessment. The only thing is, when you join this business, is invitation only.
Yeah.
And so by law of proximity, just by joining my team, that success can rub off on you.
Yeah.
It can.
I love that, man. I want to speak on some things that you said publicly on Facebook.
Yeah, talk to me.
Right. You told me that we not friends if we don't do business.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to immediately call you and start praying, take you to the gym. I said, yo, I need to call him right now.
And you
Maybe
did,
we
though.
need to go run.
You did,
Let's
though.
go walk.
You called
Right?
Call me.
Because I took it personally. Listen. I thought you was talking to me.
Man.
See what I'm saying? Can you now? I want you to tell the people why you said that.
So I had recently cut ties with my best friend. We've been friends for over, I want to say 15 years. All my A1s, day ones, we've been lost contact. I mean, not a Facebook post, no happy birthdays, none of that. And that's fine. But with this particular friend of 15 years, it broke my heart. You know what I mean? It broke my heart to cut that relationship off. And I had to be the one to make that decision to cut the relationship off, which made it even that much more harder. But then I had to go and take an assessment of what I like to call my circle. And I started going down the line and realizing that what I was saying was a friend was actually somebody who was using me, right? Let me give you an example where somebody contacts me and I go to that name and I go to that thread of messages and it's always, can you drop me off? Can you pick me up? Can you give me this? Can you? Yeah, well, is that a friendship, right? And so I said, you know what? When I'm in those dark moments that my wife was talking about, the only friend I got is Christ and her.
Yeah.
Like, she's my best friend. Like, we talk for hours. We've been doing that since we first went on our date. We talk for hours, y'all. Yeah. I'm talking about, so when people say like, man, you know, sometimes I can't talk with my wife or talk with my husband, y'all need to practice. Because if y'all could just talk, sometimes all of the problems will come out and, you know, y'all be coming up with solutions and those misunderstandings will be handled. So, you know, I don't want anybody to think that I'm cutting them off or I'm not communicating with them because of something that they did. It's not something you did. It's just something that you're not doing, right? Because if you're doing the things that you need to do for yourself, you're gonna attract the right people around you anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And so we're here having this interview with you, brother, because you stay busy doing what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be talking about anything if I wasn't doing what I'm supposed to do. You know?
Real quick, we're gonna go to question number 3.
Let's go.
From the people. The people want to know how many scooters are currently in active use across all markets, and how do you define active? Is that daily rides, GPS movement, or revenue per unit?
Again, one of those questions that is truly irrelevant, man. The sole purpose of the scooters is for the consumer to get to and fro. The sole purpose of us as the sponsors is to invest into the infrastructure of the platform. So to you as an investor, all you're focused on is when you press that button to deliver the scooters, that they are out there being delivered. Here's what I like to do. I like to do analogies and metaphors because I believe that it simplifies the process for a lot of people. And so it's like talking to a 5-year-old. And so I want you to imagine a vending machine. A vending machine is located in an area where there's a lot of traffic, a lot of people, and it has a lot of options on what you can choose out that machine. However, if the machine's not on, nobody can use it. Right. So this is why you press that button on your phone. Now, when you press that button, it turns on for 4 hours. Right. So for 4 hours, the scooters are gonna run.
It does not matter how many people ride the scooters. It doesn't matter if anybody rides the scooters. Because you turned it on, you're gonna make that static income. Now that depends on the package that you have. We have as low as $30 a day and as high as $3,898 a day.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Let me give you context on why this question is being asked. Okay. The context is, if I know how to measure the business's performance, then I know how to measure the performance of my investment. Then it also gives me scope on how much more I want to invest, because now I can calculate what my money's going to do and compare that to the performance of the scooters and how much money the company's bringing in.
Gotcha.
And I couldn't answer that question for the people that, you know what I mean?
That's a really good question, but the thing about it is that question is structured for a scooter business, not a scooter investment.
Right.
So when
It's
you're
two
like,
different
well,
things.
exactly. So let's go over that, right? So if it's a scooter business, is how much do I have to pay for each scooter? How much do I have to pay to get a scooter replaced? What if someone steals a scooter? How much is this scooter generating in this area compared to how much it is in this area? Who are my competitors? That's a scooter business, not a scooter investment.
Right.
A scooter investment is, how much do I have to pay and how long does it take to get my money back? That's it.
Period.
That's it.
Period.
Okay,
Period.
let's dig on that. Let's dig on that for a second.
Yes.
When we let's go a little deeper. So if we purchase a real estate property, I have to now pay for the property to be rehabbed, or let's say it's already ready to go. Well, now I have to have someone come and rent this property. I have to have someone take care of the property, fixing stuff. Plumber, I might have a property manager, and this is what's happening. So guess what? If I want to calculate how much money I'm going to be able to make, I'm going to calculate what? My vacancies, you know, how many people are in there. Is there a 12-month lease, a 3-year lease? Like, what is that? These are business aspects that we're going to focus on, or other words, KPIs. But as an investor, bro, when you put money in Bitcoin, do you ever go figure out how many people invested in Bitcoin today? How many people? No, you invest, right? We see Acorn. That's another popular one. And I'm not tagged in with them people. I don't get no points for it. But they let you round up your spare change as an investment. You don't go into that looking at, well, how many of these do I have to have? No. Let me give it to y'all real simple, okay? Because it's a one-time investment, you can come in day one and make exactly what you've invested right back the day you get started.
Right. And I want to piggyback off of that from a mindset perspective. Because most of us from a mindset perspective can only conceptualize the idea that if I'm making money, I'm physically putting my time in some kind of way. That's not what being an investor is, and that's not what passive income is. See, the whole goal, and when you truly have a great relationship with money, what you do as an investor is you make money go out and work for you and multiply, not you having to look at charts, look at data. No, I make money go do its job, which is to be fruitful and multiply. That is it. So that is what we definitely explain and tap into from a mindset perspective. This takes your physical time out of the situation. So that same little bit of money, I'm not gonna say little bit of money, excuse me, because I was grateful for my job, right? So the same paycheck I was only getting that value on the paycheck because I worked physically 100 hours. I don't physically do any work, but get up, take care of my children, take care of my husband, look amazing, and click a button. And I'm making 10 times, right, what I was doing, putting my physical time and labor in. So that is what we have to conceptualize. That is what we have to accept. That is another way to now be able to get wealthy, have generational wealth without you going out and putting your hard-earned work, time, sweat, equity in it to make it happen.
I wanna keep that going. Let's keep that fire going, because I believe that people want to fight for their limitations.
Absolutely.
And there are people today who are proud to say they work as hard as they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They are proud to say they worked that 100 hours. They're
Yeah.
proud to say they got 40 hours of overtime.
Yep.
Right? They're excited about the dollar raise.
Yep.
So when we come, and we tell them like, hey, we got rich with scooters.
Thank you for the dollar raise.
You
4
know,
quarters.
Listen. See, the thing is, the Bible says you have not because you ask not.
Right.
So when you say we thankful for the dollar raise, that's like going and asking God for a drink of water and taking a spoon to the ocean. You know what I mean? You gotta understand, it's like
Right.
he said, ask and you shall receive.
Right.
And my question to you is, what have you been asking for?
Yes.
If you're asking for a bigger raise, then that means you don't see the value in yourself. And this is the part I wanted to say. The reason why your paycheck will never satisfy you is because no matter what they pay you per hour, they can never pay you your true value. This is why, and my wife is, that's Queen Lady Legacy over there, but think about it. Women pay a lot of money for what? Makeup, right? They want this thing to make them look like something that they're not. But see, what I'm trying to show you is that a job is another form of makeup. It makes you feel like you're doing something with your life. That's why you can give them 40 years. And you're proud to say that I've been on the service for 40 years and you ain't leave your kids nothing. I'm on a mission, people. I'm on a mission. The mission that I'm on is to stop allowing my people, and y'all know who I'm talking about, to leave nothing behind.
Right.
The name of our company is Legacy Lifers. We are representatives and regional managers of LSSC, which is the Light and Share Scooter Company. And so we want y'all to understand, we're focusing on legacy building.
Yes.
We're not promoting LSSC just because it's this new, cool, trending fad, right? This is why we're back here. We're back here to show you we're still rising. We're still standing. And so if you're a spectator on the sideline, you're going to miss out.
For sure. Mindset, legacy, getting your time back.
Yes.
We know that these are typical MLM network marketing phrases and things that leaders and companies who are making millions of dollars say. This is MLM-anese that you're speaking, right? If you've been around the block a few times, if you've been through, right? So I'm bringing that out because I think people pay attention to language and they miss the real value that you're bringing. And I'm just giving you live feedback based on what you both just shared.
Right.
It is the language, but it don't feel the same.
Right.
It doesn't feel the same, right? I told somebody, I said, look, I know a brother that told me about this opportunity before this brother came on my platform and blew up the spot, right? And I said, so he didn't really have to sell me on the business, right? I don't even believe the business and believe in him as much as I believe in his belief in what he's doing, right? So what's really attractive, right, about you, from me to you, right, on camera, is that you believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not like trying to sell me this or sell me that. You really believe in, so I believe that whether I participate in your company or not, you're gonna move on, right? And I believe you mean what you say. You're not counting on whether I join today or not, right?
And I think that's the scary part for people. Like, I think that the network marketers out there, right, that's on me. Yo, the network marketers out there that been in the industry 5+ years, who have these large organizations who's willing to follow you wherever you go, you guys need to jump in head first, okay? Because like you said, that language, that familiarity to the conversation, then you know what success sound like. People say money talk, not to broke people. Think about that. I gotta say that again.
Yeah.
Money talk, but not to broke people. That's why when we say it's $1,000 minimum, well, $1,000. I'm like, and it's like what we're trying to do, excuse me, let me rephrase, what's being done, D, is that we're changing the perspective of going to get, or should I say recruit in the MLM environment, to attracting, just becoming. right? And just staying in that abundance. You know, we
Yes.
took a vacation sporadically just to take the kids to Myrtle Beach to spend a night, hotel suite, presidential, you know, to say for ourselves, we're satisfied, we're happy.
Right.
So when people think like, and it was one of your questions, do you have to recruit? It's like, no, man. You know, you don't, man. Your school
Stay
is
right at the
your
level.
money, bro. You know, and it's no shade to those that's out there that's not winning in the business. Because if you look, you showed me this too. The second highest video is a negative video.
Right.
Oh, I got kicked out, and it's like, you know, people, you know, who's the CEO and where's the
headquarters?
Right. And it's like those questions are irrelevant. Yeah, they are. And there is a CEO. Okay, he's shown himself, he's spoken to the organization, but do you think that he should come and talk to any and everybody who inquires about him?
Yeah, the feedback I've gotten from, like I said, from my partner, like I said, the fact that you came to me made me more interested in the opportunity, right? Because you really just added value to what I'm already doing, right? Which is why, you know, I was able to honor you in the way that I did, right? Because you didn't have to do that. I've known that brother for 20 years. He ain't pulled up to this platform yet.
Wow.
Right? We talk all the time, right? Right? So he's like, look, man, you know, come to this meeting. I'm like, nah, I'm not coming to the meeting. Because I've been around the block. I know what the meeting is.
Yeah.
Right? Right? So I didn't pay attention. Not that I didn't respect what he was doing, because I know if he telling me he getting money, I know that he's getting money.
Yeah,
it'd be like that, though.
and to bring it all together as well, because you made
You
a
good,
good
cuz. You
point,
can
like
sit
you
down.
said,
Relax.
the MLM, the language to talk. But if it wasn't for me being introduced to this industry, I wouldn't have been able to believe on the level I can believe on now. And let me give you a prime example. When I graduated high school, I was gonna have the American dream, go to college, get a great education, get a great job. Graduated college, right? With a degree. Went to the job interview and they told me it's gonna start me out at $30,000 a year. I'm like, huh?
That's crazy.
I'm like, I got a degree, but check this out. What they said is, I have a degree. Like, this is my major. They said, but you don't have the experience. So imagine a 23-year-old. I'm like, well, I'm confused because this is what I was told to do. Go to school, get the credentials, right, and then I'm gonna get a good job. But I end up getting, starting my career with Time Warner Cable Spectrum at that time. And when I was introduced to the industry for the first time in my life, I saw a black millionaire. I was in a mansion. I saw the cars, and I was able to see it in the physical, because prior to that, I didn't know what entrepreneurship was. I didn't know you could really, like, for real, outside of TVs and movies, right? Outside of being an actress, an athlete or something. I didn't know that this is a space. No matter your background, no matter your qualification, no matter who you are, what happened to you, if you believe and you do the work and you go through the personal growth and self-development, you can completely transform your life. And that's why we love and we're so passionate about what it is that we do, because if someone would have never came to me about network marketing, I had mapped my life out how I was going to move up the ranks at this job, because I didn't know nothing else. I didn't see anyone in my family that was wealthy. I didn't see anyone in my family that even purchased a home. So we have to realize our programming and the paradigms that a lot of us, we didn't choose them. We was born into it. So getting in this space is what can change everything, because in this situation in 2025, if you're an adult, if you're a parent, you're a wife, you're a husband, you can't keep having the same excuse of, oh, my parents didn't teach me. So what? Is that what you're going to have your children then say? Because you didn't change it? So that's why we're on this mission.
Man, listen, that's really good. Let me get to the people. This is another probably irrelevant question. Do you have valid contracts and operating permits with each city your scooters are in? If so, which cities? Are these contracts publicly accessible or verifiable? Again, a question of or relating to whether or not this is actually a real company or a real business. I understand the context behind the question, but I think we've already answered the question
I
in
can
general.
tell you, those questions are structured for a scooter business, not a scooter investment.
Yeah. what is your official response to alerts issued by the Better Business Bureau and the Canadian Securities Administrators, both of which have flagged LSSC as a potential scam or at minimum a high risk investment? So I think that's a specific investment.
Yeah, that's now we're talking, right? That's a great question because number one, it's not high risk due to the fact that again, it's a physical product, right? It's something that you know is being rented when you cut on your scooters, right? And then in regards of the Canadian things and different accusations, you said potential. That was the key word in that, right? Potential. Pick up your phone right now and send me $50 in Cash App, and it's going to say this is a potential scam, right? And so when we see that, we automatically, oh, it got to be something wrong. And so it's like my queen said, the paradigm shifts, right? If you're not making those paradigm shifts, then I'm going to tell you the truth. This ain't even for you, right? Because be honest with you, network marketing chose me. I didn't choose it. And I can say that because I was invited to an event by my lovely wife. And at that event, I'm like, I've never, ever seen this before. Like, I've never seen this many people of color, this wealthy, being able to shake hands. I took my first picture with a millionaire. I stepped in a mansion for the first time. Yes, with my wife getting me there. Big shout out to the people that know who we talking about. But listen, from that experience, something came alive in me. I always tell this joke. I cried at a gym convention because I woke up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, from that moment, it was like, this is what we're going to do, win, lose, or draw. And the vehicle right now that we have is one of the best vehicles I've ever seen in my life. LSSC has redefined what it is to be a network marketer.
Right.
It has redefined what it is to build an organization. I have a $500,000 a year organization, and I've only been in the business for 6 months. So with that kind of impact on my team, it's no longer about the world, because each and every person that comes on this platform, that watches this content, that goes and join this business, don't thank me. Thank yourself.
Yes.
Because you believed in yourself like I did, like my queen did. Because if you come in here thinking that you press the button and you're going to get rich, that's your fault. But this stream of income, this one stream of income, opens the door for 7 other ones.
Yes.
We don't have the time to talk about it right now. You're not going to be able to go see it on a presentation. But the reality of it is it's happening. So for anybody, D, that wants to fact check LSSC, here's what I recommend. Number one, we have our LLCs, we have our article organizations. They're in Denver, Colorado. They were given to us in 2024, May 11th. You can research that. You can literally type into Google Lightning Shared Scooter Company and you will see our article of organization. Okay?
Record.
Next thing is, you pick a state and you'll find a physical office that has a manager, that has a team, and that has a staff regulating that office. The thing is that LSSC is so unorthodox that is raising so many red flags, because everyday citizens are now starting to see results. Everyday citizens are now walking away from those 40-40 deals, right? And so when that starts to happen, they got one or two things. If we can't join them, right, because we can't regulate what's going on, then we have to destroy it. So there are people right now that are saying they're LSSC, that they're not. And they're scamming people. And so when you get scammed by someone that's pretending to be LSSC, we have to deal with that backlash. You also know I did credit repair for a while. I've got over a decade in credit repair. But yet people have come to me telling me about who scammed them as if it's my fault, right? It's just the way the industry is. And so what LSSC does, and it doesn't matter who you are, is they make sure they prove themselves first.
We're not going to skip over that. I think you need to say that again. Because I found that in research already. That was before you even came, right? So say that part again. There are people out here that are pretending.
Yes. To be LSSC.
Talk about that real quick, man.
So I'm gonna even throw one of them out there. Lime scooters. They're out there pretending to be, similar to LSSC, offer these big high yield returns, and it's a scam. You put your money into it, as soon as you put it in, they take it, and now you're looking like, you know, what happened. And then also through like Telegram, all of these different apps, you'll have people reaching out saying, hey, WhatsApp is a very popular one.
Yes,
TikTok as well,
TikTok.
right? These are different platforms
Yes.
that these people are coming. Hey, if you need help, use this link. Let me tell y'all something about hackers in 2025. Hackers in 2025 do not need your permission to take your stuff anymore. All you have to do is click on the link. All you have to do is read a text message. Have you ever gotten a text message that says something along the lines of, hey, I was just about to come over there, or, you know, hey,
Weird.
you know, just something as if we were already in conversation, right? They're doing that to get you engaged so that way they can have the time that they need to suck the data from your phone. So it's like we can't stop that from happening. So what I instruct my team to do is before you send your link out to someone, there are 3 things that has to happen. And this is for all y'all viewers who's gonna ask about trials. If you can't do these 3 things, do not reach out. Number 1, get on video. Mandatory, you got to get on a video call. So it's either FaceTime, it's, you know, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, whatever. Got to get on video. So that could be Zoom too. The next thing is you have to have a U.S. operated phone number. Okay, you can't use no voice, Google Voice, text now number. You have to have a legit phone number. Okay, and then lastly, you have to have the money to invest, obviously. Now, yes, I do understand that this is a high ticket offer, but understand because it's a one-time thing, there's no reason for you not to be able to calculate how much you can put aside as you work towards getting your investment. I've talked to so many people who, before even thinking about what's possible, start telling me what they have in front of them that won't allow them to even get the funds.
Yeah.
And so when you put that roadblock there before you even take the first step, you're complicating the process.
All right, last question. What's your roadmap for sustainable growth that doesn't rely on continuously bringing in new investors to pay out earlier ones? Can you demonstrate a viable business model purely from operational income?
Absolutely. So that would be the scooters. The scooters are your operational income. Every day, Monday through Friday, you press one button one time and you generate that static income. That is it. And you can reinvest into the scooters by the money that you're earning. Instead of withdrawing it and spending it, you reinvest it into getting more scooters. So you can start at 8 scooters and you can get all the way up to 565 scooters. And so when it's like, okay, that's one income, right? And I'll be honest and say it publicly, that one income from scooters pays every bill in my life. Every bill in our life is paid off for one account, right? So when you think about that kind of impact, then you say, but wait a minute, is there more, right? Yeah. Absolutely. And so everybody doesn't want more though. And I think that's the part where it gets confusing, you know, when you find out, wait a minute, so you can take people out to lunch, tell them about this information and be fully reimbursed. Absolutely. Wait a minute, so you can go and buy t-shirts and marketing materials and be fully reimbursed? Absolutely. So wait, you can go and have a conference and spend maybe 50 grand to fill a stadium up and be fully reimbursed? Absolutely. We don't pay to eat.
Yeah.
We eat out and at nice restaurants.
Yeah.
You know, the business provides that.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's good, man. People might say, and I'm people.
Yeah, of course.
Wealthy people, and I know wealthy people. I work for wealthy people. I only want to work for wealthy people. Those are my ideal customers. You are my ideal clients from my business standpoint, right? I'm not the guy that's looking to give you razzle dazzle, right? I'm looking to tell the authentic story through what I do with my art. They're giving people. And what I've learned about wealthy people is that they don't think about how much it costs. They pay fast, right? Like, what are you? My question to you is, what have you learned being around more wealthy people?
I can go first. I've learned a lot being around wealthy people. A few key things that you can truly have whatever you desire to have in life. Yeah. I talk about this all the time, especially going on my lives. I do Manifestation Mondays every Monday on Facebook Live, and really, digging into the art of manifestation. Life is like a menu. right? You can have the entire menu, everything. But what we do because of our own beliefs, right? Because of how we feel about ourselves internally, this is all internal things, we'll just settle for just the appetizer. Oh, I don't want too much. I don't want to feel like I'm being greedy. I don't want to. No, why would you feel like that when God wants the best for you? He says that to have the best. He wants the best for you. It is not intended for any of us to live this beautiful grand life and for every day of this beautiful grand life struggle and stress about bills and money. That is not the intent of life. And so when you really look at being open to opportunities, see, the great thing about walking in purpose and being connected to your assignment is going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be going to unfamiliar territory. You're supposed to change. And until people are able to embrace change, nothing is going to change in their life. And you have to embrace that. Why? Because think about it. All of us in this room, we were once infants.
Right.
Toddlers, teenagers, adults. And through these life transitions, we what? Change.
For sure.
So now when people look at you like, oh, you change, you different, as if it's a problem, I'm supposed to. You're supposed to. Because we're going to make sure before we leave this earth, not only is the legacy already set and in place, that's done, but we get the most out of life. If we want to wake up and travel to Africa, it's done. If we want to wake up and take our children to the best schools, the best this, it's done. And we're not thinking about it from the standpoint of I don't have. See, the words you're speaking are very powerful. So because you keep speaking that, that's why you have those results in your life. So simply work on those tweaks. I am abundant. I attract overflow. I'm open to receive versus I'm always broke. I ain't got it. Just start changing what you're speaking, start changing your perspective and what you're seeing, and then you will see the things in your life begin to change. Always bet on you. Can't lose that way.
That's it. That's it, man. Before we get out of here, anything that you want the people to know?
Yes.
Anything that you want the people to do?
Yes. So I want to answer that question.
It's the same question I ask every time, brother.
No, not that one. The one that you asked before.
The one
my
I asked
wife.
before. Okay.
Can I get the camera?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. What I learned from watching wealthy people, because I had once understood I wasn't in the circles with them. I didn't know them. So I had to study them. I had to watch them, read their books, watch their webinars, seminars. One of the things that I learned is none of them ever talk about money. None of them ever talk about money. They only talk about ideas. They only talk about relationships. They never focus on money. Number two, wealthy people are always thinking about the decades and the years. They never think about the day, the week, the month, right? And so that helped me because now, instead of me saying I'm going to do something, I'm trying to do something, I am that I am. So, you know, and I big shout out to our, metaverse mentor, Myron.
Yes.
He always says,
Myron Golden.
yes, absolutely. You be and you do, then you have. And so I think we get stuck on the being part because we don't even know what we want to become.
Yes.
Because all throughout our life, since kids, we were, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a firefighter. Then you realize you ain't want to get that heat on that ad. Then, excuse my language. Then you want to turn around. You know what I'm saying? And so you, all throughout your life, you didn't, and now you're just letting life guide you.
Yeah.
Instead of understanding, like Bruce Lee said, be like water, right? Be like water, just flow. And becoming is something that God finished. Let me show you what I mean by that, and then we'll wrap it up. God said, I'm done. God said in the book of Ecclesiastes that there's nothing new under the sun. So when we understand that, then that means that everything that is here is through creation. It starts with a thought. The thought creates a feeling. The feeling creates an action, and the action creates the results. So what I would like for the viewers to do is tap in. LSSC, King Leo, Lady Legacy, getyourscooters.com. As always, look, if you're looking to get into the scooter business with us, and you're seeing these videos, you're seeing these reels, you're hearing people talk about it, and you're ready, right? but you want to make sure you tap in with the right people. You want to make sure you join the right organization. We're not here just saying jump into LSSC. We're telling you that LSSC is real. We're telling you that it changed our life and that it's changing other lives. But be very careful on who team you join. You want to make sure you join the right people. So if you're looking to join Team Sparta, what I want you to do is comment the word Sparta on this video. Comment the word Sparta on this video and someone will reach out to you. That's it for me.
Got you.
Let's do it.
Anything else, beloved? You got anything else?
Yes, just one last piece for, of course, all the women that are tuning in. Understand that you're not here by coincidence. You're here for purpose. And with all the hats that you wear, whether you're a mom, a wife, and you work a full-time job now, understand that it's purpose within you. So yes, we are taking this thing by storm to the masses. But for my ladies especially, we're going to show the world how a woman can build a business and a legacy and be a mom and a wife. Hello, let's go.